Welcome to the podcast. We are kicking it off today. We have a new guest coming up who is also an admin. Oh man, let me get settled here. So, if everyone would like to go ahead and introduce himself.
Stop the nipples.
No, not doing that.
You're not going to stop playing the nipples? All right.
Nope. I refuse.
All right. So, Lil, so we can entertain these fuckers. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm sorry, me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just need you to go ahead and get the dick out of your mouth because I was having a hard time understanding you.
Oof.
All right, so I'm Lilith, new here to Daycare podcast. What's it been? A week?
Yeah.
Already stirring the shit. That's what I do. So.
She also works over on Shammers, right?
Shammers United. Yep, Shammers United. Before that, I was with Booty Call. That was my page. I retired her. And then before that, I was with Platoon Sergeant's Corner with Ghost. So I've been adminning for a long time.
Nice.
So, we brought Lilith on tonight because
Mhm.
we need to cover a little family so that our audience understands that we've all got some family on this show. Raven's got her daughter and her son, and Scout, he's still a kid. And Mr. Nipples is just starting out making his family. I know they're not rushing, but
Yeah.
they'll get there. They'll get there. And McFucker, he takes care of his nephew on a full-time basis. And I've got 3 kids, and I've got 2 more that I help raise that aren't mine. And Lilith, you've got what? You've got a couple yourself, don't you?
I have one. I have a daughter. She's 10.
Yep. All right. So with that put out there, this group. Do you remember the name of that damn group, or should I look it up?
It was something along the lines of things that people without
right
children say.
I've actually got it right here, because our wonderful Raven was nice enough to send it for me, and she sent it to us in our admin chat earlier today. It is called Regrettably,
the child free are at it again.
Yes. And these motherfuckers decided that we don't know what the hell we're talking about by not wanting these little fucking crotch fruit at fucking Endgame running around, not being quiet, stirring up some goddamn shit. Now, this is because of a meme I made. Now, let me tell you why I made this fucking meme. Now, I'm sure you recognize the background. It's that Lisa Simpson background that's going around.
Yeah, just with Deadpool instead of Lisa.
Yeah. Well, I use Deadpool for an obvious reason because, you know, the language that I use, Simpsons will never use. But I use Deadpool and I made the meme because I read this story put up by a widow. She started dating this guy years ago, and her boyfriend at the time was so excited to introduce her to the MCU. For you idiots out there, that's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, and he got her hooked. And he deployed right after Infinity Wars came out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he died downrange.
Oh, jeez.
Just a few weeks ago.
Ooh, rip.
And as you know, Endgame comes out in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So she's going to be going to see Endgame in the theater. And she's going to go, and this is going to be horrible and hard for her to see. Now, I can't imagine this new widow trying to not only grieve and watch this movie But there's those of us that, a lot of us have special attachments to these movies, whether we grew up in the comic books or we watched these movies with guys we served with, and we have memories of doing so with them, and whatever. We don't want these little fucking crotch fruit, these little fuck trophies running around, being loud, making noise, being assholes. We get pissed enough as it is when adults are being dicks. And let me point out, there's these fuckheads that like to open their goddamn phones and turn those fucking things on and text the whole goddamn movie too.
Oh, yeah.
Motherfuckers, I will throw some fucking candy at your ass, just so you know.
Like, I can't even imagine that. Were it me, I'd probably just stay the fuck home. Were I her, that would be awful.
Yeah, that'd be pretty rough.
For her, it's a very special thing. I can understand. For her, it's a very special thing, and this might be the closure she needs. I get it. I do.
Well, you bring a valid point. I hadn't considered that, but I don't know. That's rough.
This might be, just like that one woman, her husband was dying of cancer, and he wanted to see Infinity Wars, and that was his wish, and he died 2 days before opening.
Ooh.
So she went. She went on opening day. And she went and she took this ticket and she kept the seat empty next to her and she cried the entire movie, but she needed it.
So now here she is, and it's anniversary time. I mean, it's go time, and she wants to go see this film, and I'm certain that she probably wants to sit there in her grief and not be harassed.
I'm sure. Can you imagine somebody bringing their goddamn, fuck trophies and these little fuckers screaming, yelling, bouncing around, mommy,
Yeah.
I gotta use the potty.
So I actually have a story to throw in here. When I was deployed in Iraq, I think the first time maybe, my husband was sitting in a theater watching a movie with him, and it was him and his friends. And there was a lady and many of her children sitting next to her, and the children are just being very incredibly poorly behaved. The baby's crying. There's a lot of crap going on in the theater, and our one friend is not terribly well behaved at the best of times in public. So he's over there running his mouth about these kids, which, understandably so. Like, they were far too little, and there were far too many of them, and quite frankly, she couldn't handle all of the children at one time. Understandably so. There were a lot of kids. It is what it is. But at the same time, like, perhaps the movie theater was not the best choice. Perhaps
let me ask a question.
the movie at home. Just throwing it out there.
Do you remember what movie it was?
You know what? Honey, what movie was that? Spider-Man 2. It was the Spider-Man 2 film.
No, see, if it was like Hotel Transylvania, I get it.
Yeah, like, it wasn't a little kid movie. I mean, yes, Spider-Man is fun for kids, but at the same time, there's a lot of adult content that goes on in these films.
You don't say.
I mean, it is what it is. Comic books aren't really for kids.
No.
But so at some point, words were had about the volume of the children, and I don't know if it was somehow the back of her chair got kicked. Okay, it wasn't like anybody was like kicking the back of her chair on purpose. It was somebody like crossed their legs or something, and someone nudged the back of her chair. So she gets up, leaves all of her children in the theater, and goes and tells the manager that she's physically attacked in this film by my husband and his friends. So here comes the manager and the security people from the theater to apparently take my husband and his friends into custody for attacking this woman and her children, who, by the way, she just left in the theater with said attackers. Oh, so I don't think he ever got to see the rest of Spider-Man 2. Just throwing that out there.
No, here's a good joke for you. What's Spider-Man 2?
All right.
Sorry.
Oh, that's rough.
Almost had to beat a man's ass during Suicide
but
Squad.
At the end of the day, all of that could have been averted had she just not brought her 8 kids to the theater. Like, calm it down, yo. Either have less
Just
kids
get a
or have less
babysitter.
kids at the theater. I'm just throwing it out there.
It's like literally just get a babysitter.
So I've got a 18-month-old and a 6-year-old, both of which are a handful. I'm not going to get into the blah, 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 blah of parenthood and put my kids' crap out there. But anyhow, every Tuesday, and anyone that's a friend of mine can attest to this, I pay for a damn babysitter. So I can take my wife to the movies and we can get away for a couple hours and see a freaking movie. Now, for 2 kids that are a handful, and one of them, you have to have special training to even manage the handful that he is. We're talking medical training. It's not cheap to get a babysitter. So if I can do that to take my wife to and I'm a starving author, if I can do that, these freaking parents, these over entitled twat waffles, can get a fucking babysitter for their little fucking precious demons.
I feel like sometimes people are under the impression that because they are comic book films, that means that they are for kids. But it's been many years now that Marvel and what have you have been putting out films, and I think it's pretty obvious to anybody who's been paying even a remote amount of attention that these movies really aren't intended for kids. And
no, most definitely not.
I mean,
Especially
seriously,
Deadpool.
it's really not that complicated.
How sad was it that Ryan Reynolds had to get dressed up as Deadpool and put out several PSAs for each one of his movies telling parents not to bring their kids to the movie?
Yeah, I love. Oh, they're coming for you. They're coming for you.
Don't you hear them?
Yeah, is that the SWAT team rolling up?
About the late. Oh, geez.
Hurry, break out all your eggs. Hand them over. It's not worth it.
Oh.
No, that's probably...
I know it's 420. I know it's 420, but give them all the kush. Hurry.
I'm really kind of hoping that like the police aren't coming to shut you down. Like, oh no, I'm sorry. You're talking about bad parents.
No,
you gotta go.
I live about 8 blocks from the local refugee apartment complex, and the police are there about 25 times a day trying to deal with their shit. So yeah, it's awful. Oh, they're peaceful people. Really?
Jeez.
That's why you got 3 shootings and 11 stabbings every day, right?
Oh yeah. Oof, but damn, what we were just talking about, someone was on a story.
Oh, yeah, I was last night. I got accused of embracing rape culture and demeaning children by 2 different SJWs.
Embracing race culture or rape culture.
What the?
Because there was some freaking movie that came out back in like the late 80s, early 90s that one person called his wife that he raped her regular his fuck trophy. So therefore, me saying fuck trophy is embracing rape culture. No, read the context.
I mean, if you just use reading, if you use reading comprehension and context, it's very, very easy to figure out what you're trying to say.
I've got a screenshot of it if you want to see it, though.
It's just someone trying to be triggered over something that there's nothing even there.
SJWs.
That's
anyhow
completely out of context.
It gets better. Then when I pointed out the fact that they weren't reading it right, They go, well, Deadpool would never say this. Deadpool has a soft spot in his heart for kids.
Yeah,
He would never do this
I
to
was
kids.
just going to bring that up.
And I said, you know
Yeah.
what? Deadpool, this obviously is not aimed at kids. Read it.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
not like he's
aimed
talking
at
to
the
children.
stupid fucking parents. And he has no qualm whatsoever to saying something to a fucking dumbass
there was literally a whole commercial that they did with Deadpool in it, calling them crotch goblins. Like,
yes.
I don't.
And calling the parents fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Well,
They're just trying to find something to be mad over.
Soft spot for children or no, it's very clear that Deadpool films are not for kids.
Yeah.
Like, pay attention. And again, soft spot for kids or not. Like, no, he's not running around slaughtering children. But come on now, that's the most ludicrous argument ever.
It's a fucking joke.
Endgame is going to be extremely violent.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to be the most violent of any of the Disney movies thus far. Now, granted, Deadpool is now a Disney movie, but let's not split hairs. Actual Disney produced movies.
He's the new Disney princess.
Yeah.
I want to see him in the next Fantasia.
He needs a tiara and a skirt. That would
be
amazing.
Oh, by the way, I think we need to run a campaign. There's two that I want to start with our page. One, we need to try and get unify all the comic pages together and run it through our page, need be, or somebody. We need to get this to happen. They have Deadpool replace Stan Lee cameoing in every fucking movie. I think he needs to put on a wig and fucking glasses and be Stan Lee in every goddamn movie.
That'd be pretty great.
Because he's the
I
only
legitimately think Ryan Reynolds would do something like that.
Oh, he would.
I really
He's already
do.
said it. He said it.
Has he? Okay.
Yes, he would do it. But he's waiting, for the... He wouldn't even... I don't even think
waiting for the nod.
Yeah, I don't even think he wants to get paid for it. I mean, Stan Lee, granted, he was a communist, but the man was... He's a fellow vet and legend. Communist or not, he did a lot of good for this world. Yeah, he had some extreme views, but we all do. I mean, look at me. So... I think, we need to get rid of everybody in DC and start over. So, but back to what we were talking about.
Oh, poor DC.
Poor DC.
No, not DC the comics. Not that shithole. I'm talking about DC as the other shithole.
We're talking about the capital.
And I missed something.
I'm talking about the cesspool of human civilization. We need to get rid of everybody and start over.
Oh man!
We need to get back to foundations of what America's about, what our fellow brothers and sisters have died for.
Freedom.
Anyhow, let's not get too far off subject here.
Sorry, I was like, we jumped universes. We're talking DC now. I turn away to cough. I come back. We're apparently on a rant.
We don't want to talk. We don't want to talk DC here.
No. DC. I've got some love for DC, but I'm not
I don't have much love for DC.
I'm sorry, but Gotham has been amazing, and I don't want to hear your shit.
No,
Gotham.
Batman's a fucking turbo virgin.
Gotham is a good series. That's one of the best projects DC's ever put out. I will give you that.
I completely concur.
Okay, Smallville was good. I hate to say it. Smallville for the time was a wonderful project. It came out years ago, and for what was on TV at the time, it was a good project.
That came out when I was a crotch goblin.
Okay. So was Superman and Lois, or Lois and Clark? Yeah.
Lois and Clark.
When I was a crotch goblin. That was good.
When you were a kid, were Lois and Clark still alive?
Yeah. Hey man, just because my old man sat on top of a hill and watched people, watch the North and the South shoot it out doesn't mean I'm that old. Just to tell you how old my old man is. I'm not going to tell you exactly how old he is, but my dad literally remembers when the entire family got into the family horse-drawn wagon on Friday. so they could head to town. 4 hours away, something like that. By car, it was 45 minutes away. And they stayed there in the wagon that night and Saturday. Went to church Sunday. They got all their supplies on Saturday. And headed back to the farm on Sunday afternoon after church. That tells you how old my old man is.
God damn.
There were people with cars, just his family didn't have one.
Shit. What did he fucking ride out west, paying for gold as well?
No. However, he did get back to the farm one day, and he remembers the sheriff come by asking if they'd seen a drifter. And they said, no, we haven't. Huh?
He was like heading out west panning for gold. I'm like, that was 1849, not 1949.
I mean, close enough.
So they're like, no, we haven't seen him, but we'll let you know if we do. And he was mucking the pigsty, but 4 days later, he came across a jawbone and part of a femur.
Oof. Found the drifter.
Apparently the drifter was drunk and Mama had just sowed. And the drifter decided to take a nap in the pigsty.
Oof.
Pigs will eat people in a heartbeat.
Especially when they just sowed. Mama's very protective.
Mm-hmm.
She's more dangerous than Mama Bear. It's bad. Anyhow, back on topic here. So the reason I'm cracking eggs, just so that these fucking people that are attacking us, because apparently we don't understand what it's like to be parents. I'm sitting here doing this weekly show, which is my relaxation time from all the insanity in my life. This is my wonderful time, and I'm sitting here cracking eggs so that my kids could have their tradition of dyed. And yes, we take our shelled deviled eggs, and I have to dye them with food coloring, the raw, the whites, so they can have dyed deviled eggs for Easter.
Hell yeah. I've never had dyed deviled eggs.
About kids.
Yeah, what do you know about kids? You never had those.
Jeez.
That shit was so funny.
You know what? Seriously.
And it's funny because if you look at the comment, like all the people that were arguing with us, none of them had children.
Yeah, I know.
That was my favorite part. Not a single one of the ones arguing had children.
One of them is a feminist from fucking Australia. You ain't got no goddamn freedom in Australia. What the fuck are you telling me about freedom for?
All you got is kangaroos and sadness.
And kangaroos are fucking vicious and horrible. Oh,
well,
you got those.
Okay. Her relative locality has dick all to do with it. The lack of children, though, that's a little disturbing. Like, how the fuck are you going to tell me about kids if you don't have any?
Okay, wait. You know what her problem might be? She may have gotten too close to a koala and ended up with syphilis. Gonorrhea.
You can get syphilis from koalas.
You didn't know that?
Fun fact.
Koalas carry each koala can carry multiple strains of gonorrhea and syphilis.
Well, okay, but meanwhile, back at the ranch, most diseases that animals carry, people cannot get. Like, if your cat gets a cold, you're not going to get it, or vice versa.
True, but the koala can give you multiple strains at once of both their syphilis and their gonorrhea.
In what way? How?
Yeah, koalas are complete sluts.
Touching you.
Just gonna throw that out there.
They scratch you, and they can transfer it to you.
Do you have some sort of like scientific article to support this?
Yeah, actually, it's easy to find. It's all over National Geographic, or it's on the.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm like, if you read this on Duffel blog, I'm gonna be mad at you.
Yeah, that's why you always have to wear. You have to wear a full body condom when you're dealing with them.
Yeah, the Australia tourism page has it on their warnings.
Oh wow, interesting.
In fact, I do believe that what's his name? Our wonderful patron that passed, Steve Irwin, even gave a little piece of information on that.
I would love Steve Irwin to explain to me. Saint Irwin?
That man deserves sainthood for everything he did for the animal.
Oh, yeah.
However, I despise the Catholic Church, so maybe not. So, but let's not get into that either, because now we're going to get hate mail saying, you hate the Catholic Church. So if you want to know why I hate the Catholic Church, send me a message. Send a message to Daycare and say, hey, Nick, why do you hate the Catholic Church? And I will give you a rundown of every reason that I hate the Catholic Church. And if you don't understand my opinion on why I don't like the Catholic Church, that's fine. You don't have to respect it, but you can at least understand where I come from.
I think it's probably more likely it's going to be from PETA, who are mad that you're talking mean about koalas.
PETA can eat a dick
not,
too.
I'm just stating facts. Listen, PETA has no leg to stand on after the entire world went after him after what they said about Steve Irwin.
I mean, they kill.
Think they're saying shit to us.
They kill a whole lot of animals. So.
Did you know that PETA went to a grocery store in Missouri and bought like 4 dozen lobsters and let them go in the Missouri River?
Oh no. That's not how lobsters work. That's not how lobsters work at all.
Did you know that PETA steals? That's not how this works. That's not how
That's not how lobsters. This is not how lobsters work.
PETA will go around, steal dogs out of people's backyards, and put them to sleep so that they're no longer slaves to to owners.
Yep.
PETA is a horrible organization.
They really are.
They're almost as bad as Child Free is at it again. Fucking childless motherfuckers telling me I don't know what about them kids.
You're trying
to dehumanize children. It's called a joke.
I know, I saw that. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm really not. Like, I love my kid. She's great. I treat her probably more like people than I treat random fucking assholes that I meet on the street. But at the same time, if she's going to be poorly behaved, I'm not going to take her somewhere. When she was, I don't know, she was like maybe 2 or 3 years old. We were at Target, and we had told her that if she was well behaved, that because I'm all about bribing kids sometimes.
Yes, it's parenthood.
I mean, like if you're well behaved, then you could pick out a thing. Well, she picked out some little coloring book, or I don't even remember at this juncture what she picked out, but she picked out some little thing that she wanted or whatever. But then she decided she wanted something else. And I was like, no, you already said you were getting this. You can have this, or you can have the other thing. Well, as children are wont to do, she goes off like an air raid siren. I'm like, oh, I don't think so. I don't deal well with scenes. I don't like scenes in public. And I don't care how old you are. That is unacceptable. We left an entire cart of groceries and her toy and everything sitting in the store, and we walked out. And, she never did it again. I promise you that, because she was so mortified. I mean, just you could see the look in her face that we were leaving without all of our stuff. And she knew. Wife, I'm like, nah, we're going. I'm not doing this to you today.
Yeah, we have a similar strategy, and it's almost as effective. But once again, like I said, my kids are a handful, which if you want to know later, I'll tell you, Lilith. But
okay.
So if they act up, one of us will go sit in the damn car with these kids, while the other one finishes shopping. Now, can you imagine how these kids sit there and they're just terrified, and not terrified, but they're miserable sitting in the car listening to our music from the 90s, going, I want to go back outside.
Please, Daddy, don't make me listen to Nirvana anymore.
I want to listen to Sesame Street.
Running in the 90s.
Black Hole Sun makes me want to hurt myself, Dad.
Or we'll put on the really good shit. We'll put on like the good stuff from the 70s, and make them listen to like Pink Floyd and shit, and they just absolutely hate us. So this music's awful. Shut up. It's good.
Your nostalgia makes me sad.
It's my happy music. My daughter calls Nirvana potato chip.
Wait, she does what?
She calls Nirvana potato chip. Potato. Okay, here we are now. Entertain us.
Irritator.
Yeah, here we are now. We're potatoes.
Oh my god. That's
Oh my
great.
god, that's amazing. I can't be mad at her though. For a lot of years, I thought the doves had fries. So
The doves had fries. Those crafty
But,
fucking doves and their fries.
oh, by the way, I need you guys' help. We're making fetch happen.
Fetch?
You guys know fetch, right?
Nope.
negative.
Lilith, you've never seen Mean Girls. Are you serious?
Nope.
Like years ago.
Okay. You remember the stupid one of the Mean Girls? And she keeps trying to make fetch
Yes.
happen, and the girl goes, "Fetch is never going to happen." Well, my wife and I have decided that whenever something's like, we think something's neat or our daughter's excited about something or whatever, we're like, "That's so fetch," and our daughter started saying it. So we're hoping that
Oh
she'll
my
start saying it
gosh.
to her friends, and we're gonna make fetch happen. It's
So
a
this is
'90s
gonna
thing.
be
We're
our
gonna make
new
it happen now.
catchphrase.
We're gonna see if we can't make the '90s thing happen now.
You're gonna say that's been 20 years ago.
Right?
Yeah, I was like 2.
We need to make this happen, guys. We can make this happen. If we
Did
make
you
our
just
kids.
say you were 2?
Yeah, if it was 20 years ago.
Oh, why
Yeah,
you
he's a
hurt my
baby.
feelings like that?
Oh, don't even start. You have no idea how old I am. I will be over that hill in a few years.
This man's ancient.
Oh,
He
stop it.
remembers when the pyramids were built. He was there.
Okay, listen. I was already in Germany when the planes hit the towers.
Oh, you're older than me.
I pulled guard for 72 hours straight, waiting for the buses from Kosovo, or was it Bosnia? I don't remember, to come back so I could get reprieve. They got back, and I still pulled guard longer because they needed time off from their long bus drive.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's fun, huh?
Wait, so this is when Bosnia was actually happening.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, I don't remember if it was Bosnia or Kosovo that they were at, but they were down there, and they had to load onto a bus and drive back because the towers got hit.
So that would have been 98?
No, that was in the towers.
Oh. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you meant you were in when Bosnia was happening.
No. I was in Germany when the towers got hit.
Oh, Pumpkin, you're not older than me then.
I'm 37.
Oh, whole 37.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
A whole 37.
But you know what, though? I pumped a lot of rounds. I'm broke. My body's pretty beat up. But, you've got kids too.
My knees don't work. I can't hear. It is what it is.
I know. I get it. You probably feel this. I probably feel as old as you feel. And you know who doesn't feel old?
Me?
Grantham. Or Smoke Grantham.
I don't feel old.
Well, because you're not. But you've talked to Smoke, haven't you?
Yeah.
That
Smoke's
feel
wild.
more than like 18.
I used to work with a guy like that when I was working in the petroleum field. He was pretty old. He was old enough to be my dad, but he was still wild.
Smoke Grantham's damn near old enough to be your grandpa. In fact, he is old enough to be your grandpa.
He is.
But that motherfucker, I tell you what, he oh god, I respect the hell out of that man. He's Lilith, you've had toxic leadership, right?
Of course.
I'm sorry, whom?
You've had toxic leadership, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, imagine the perfect anti-toxic leadership. The exact opposite.
Okay.
That is Smoke Grantham. You talk to this man, and you're happy, and you feel good about the world, and he makes you want to work. This man was an E7, and he did not ask us to do anything that he was not willing to get down and do with us.
I've met dudes like that.
That is perfect leadership.
Like the kind of guys that actually go to bat for you.
Yep. We were
Like my favorite day ever in the Marine Corps. I watched a master gunnery sergeant rip a captain from one end to the other because he let me sit at the grinder for a fucking hour waiting for his ass, and he apparently had canceled the run and never told anybody.
Oh damn.
And I got back
Oof.
to the motor pool because at some point I was like, I don't know what the fuck else to do. I'm just gonna go back to my original point of contact and try to figure out what the fuck's happening. So I go back to the motor pool and I walk in the door, and I don't know if he had like a little bit of a speech impediment or what, but he never could say my name right. So he was like, he had some jacked up way that he used to say it, and he was like, what are you doing back? And I was like, well, Master Guns, I sat up there for an hour. I don't know what else to do. No one ever showed up. Everybody looked at me like I had grown a third fucking eye. When I asked them what was happening, like everybody was like, we don't know what you're talking about. We're just going to chow. I'm like, fuck. So I go back and he was like, oh, you hold the fuck on. You stand right there. I was like, oh shit. He picks up the phone and he goes, dials the number, and he was like, somebody answered, some dipshit. He was like, I want to speak to Captain so-and-so. I don't even remember the guy's name now. It doesn't matter. I want to speak to Captain so-and-so. And then they're like, made some bullshit like, who is this or whatever. He's like, don't you worry who the fuck this is. This is Master Guns. I'm not going to say his name. And you put him the fuck on the phone. I was like, oh my God, what is happening right now? So apparently Captain so-and-so gets on the horn and he chewed his ass. I was like, oh my God, this is the best day ever. I'm going to mark this in my calendar as a red letter day in the Marine Corps because damn.
Yeah. Once
I
those
love this
NCOs
so much.
Once those NCOs get enough rank, they ain't scared of shit, and they shouldn't be because it takes an act of Congress to follow.
That man was literally marking time until it was time to go the fuck home and never come back. He was. At
Yep.
that juncture, you would have to be.
Oh, I need to give a shout out real quick. My first NCO, right? I had, your first NCOs, you remember them. I had Sergeant Kelly,
Absolutely.
Sergeant Moyer, which he's been on this show several times. He's funny. And Sergeant Pruitt, and this clown by the name of Sergeant Diaz. Well, Sergeant Diaz, God, he screwed around a lot, but I learned a lot from this man, right? Well, when he promoted, we got Sergeant Hampton, and Sergeant Diaz was still kind of a clown, and he did his job. Everybody listened to him because he went to bat for his troops. That man just graduated Sergeant Major School, and I'm gonna give that man some props because that's something that not everybody ever gets to achieve. And I just watched. He just did a live feed of him doing the new Army APFT, and that man kicked the shit out of that test. Because let's face it, when you got that sergeant major rank, you ain't gotta bust your ass on that APFT. That man busted his ass.
That's
I know
amazing.
damn well. So my props go out to you, Sergeant Diaz. You are the epitome of what troops need. Anyhow, let's get back to these dumb motherfuckers. Unless you got a good story there, Jordan. You gotta have something for us.
Oof. Yeah, I got one for movies and people being disruptive.
Ooh.
So, this was like right after I got back home from when I was stationed in Pensacola. And so we go to see Suicide Squad, and there we are, just trying to enjoy the movie, and these people come in and sit down behind us. And one of their buds is like quite visibly drunk. Like just very, very visibly wasted, stumbling and everything. He sits down directly behind me. And as the movie's starting, he's kind of like yelling shit, trying to be funny. And I was kind of annoyed to begin with. So finally, the last straw, he kicks the back of my arm out of my rest. And I whipped around on this guy so fast, and I stared his friend like dead in the eyes. And I was like, you better get this motherfucker under control or I'm going to beat his ass. Then I'm going to beat your ass. And he was like, oh, God, I'm sorry, sir. So he takes his friend. This is the funniest part. He stands his friend up and they walk over to like the little side exits in movie theaters. And he walks him out, and I can hear him because I'm sitting like right next to the exit, basically. And he's like, "Where are we going, man?" And he's like, "Oh, I gotta put you out here." And he's like, "We going to get sushi?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, we're going to get sushi." And then he just closes the door on his friend and walks over and just sits back down. I had to do like everything in my power from not laughing my ass off at this.
Oh shit, man!
Like he just straight closed the friend.
From the disrupted to the disruptor.
Yeah. He just straight told his friend they were going somewhere and then closed the door. And I can only imagine what the drunk dude was thinking. He was like, "What am I doing now?"
I have expected.
Apparently going to get sushi.
He just closed the door on his friend and came and sat back down. It was so funny.
I have expected you to tell me you took the shirt off and poked the dude's eye out, but
I would have damn pulled him over the seat and whipped out the nipples on him.
Damn. A couple shows ago, we were late because Mr. Nipples was leaving the gym, and Nipples getting around the corner before he was, and he poked some dude in the eye, and he had to take the guy to the hospital.
Yeah, it was pretty tragic.
I'm not gonna lie to you and take this in the loving manner in which it's intended. But if you turned around and said some shit like that to me in that adorable little accent that you have, I probably would have laughed in your face.
What adorable little accent.
I'm like, oh, Pumpkin, you sound cute.
What accent? I don't understand.
Your little East Coast thing that you got going on there, Nipples.
Oof. I can't hear my own accent.
He's East Coast.
You can't hear it?
No, I'm from North Carolina.
Oh, is he? I was going to say you must be Southern East Coast because that's some country shit right there.
Yeehaw.
Yeet. Come on, say it. Yeet.
Yeet. People at work bring it up all the time, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't hear it. I don't understand.
It's all right. Well, now that I come home, people are like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "I'm from here." I'm like, no, you've got an accent.
What's really bad is there are people that have a lot worse accents than mine that live around like back where I'm from. Like mine's incredibly mild compared to some of the people that I like grew up with and went to high school with and such.
Yeah.
Oh sure. I mean, I've met people from like big cities in states like Texas that have almost zero accent.
Mm-hmm.
They get a little more rural and that shit gets a little heavier.
Yeah, I grew up in the mountains, so it's like just the foothills of North Carolina, so it was pretty rural. My high school had a farm on it. Like we had like horses and shit and like 4 greenhouses.
Oh, okay.
Do y'all remember Bobby's World? Probably not.
Of course.
Okay. That's the way people talk up here. I ain't got that accent.
Yatter, don't you know?
Yeah.
Don't you know?
Yeah, you betcha.
Oh, Bobby. That's amazing.
Yeah, what about it? Yeah, you know, then.
That's phenomenal.
But I came home. I grew up here, and people are like, "Where are you from?" I grew up by the old hospital. No, you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck I didn't. I can tell you.
Minnesota.
Well, not quite, but close.
Yeah.
I'm a North Dakota boy. And that's how you know I'm a North Dakota boy. It's not North Dakota. It's North Dakota.
Oh, say flag.
Say what?
Say flag.
Flag. I lost my accent.
Damn. People with heavy like Dakotan accents have like this thing where this bag and flag, and they'll say like bag and flag.
Oh, you're talking about the bag.
Yeah, that.
Amazing.
That shit is hilarious.
Hey, did you know that they made a bag out of the flag?
They draw it out so
Hey,
much.
hey, what about the pop?
Oh my
What about the
God,
pop?
it's soda.
Oh, pop versus soda.
Oh, what about the soda? Did you go get some soda to put in the
I
cake?
thought people in North Carolina called everything a Coke.
No, we just call it soda.
Okay, I was gonna say because I went to a restaurant. Like I have family near Winston Salem,
Mm-hmm.
and we had gone to a restaurant, and the young lady that was the waitress asked me if I wanted a Coke. I was like, sure. She goes, well, what kind? Like, what the hell do you mean, what kind? Like, Jesus Christ, how many kinds of Coke do you have?
Ah,
She's like, well, we got Coke and we got Sprite and we got orange and we got. I'm like, oh Jesus. Okay, you
She's
know
a
what,
Texan.
sweetie? Just bring me a regular old Coke.
I've
Should
never
be
heard
okay.
anyone say that around here.
Coke is
Bless
in your
her.
nose,
I don't
don't you
know.
know?
Maybe she was just weird.
I guess. I don't know. Winston Salem is a weird place, so
Well, fair enough.
Coke goes in your nose, don't you know? Soda goes in your cake, and then pop is what you drink. So, all right, enough of that crap. I hate talking like that. I grew up playing hockey.
You grew up playing
Yeah,
hockey,
fuck
so
yeah.
you're a stereotype.
Hockey,
That's
wrestling, the
cool.
whole 9 yards. Yeah, the whole 9 yards.
I
All the
used to
damn time.
wrestle.
The further north you go, the more likely you are to have played hockey.
Yeah, I played hockey from the time I could walk to the time that I was told I couldn't play. Well, no, the time I gave up playing because it became about politics. The last game I played, I this fucker. I was the enforcer, right? Somebody was out there pissing people off, and I went out there and made sure they didn't piss anybody off the rest of the game. Well, this fucker pissed me off, and I knew I was done. Politics had gotten too much, and I took a stick and I tomahawked this motherfucker so bad my aluminum stick bent so far that it was never usable again. And I walked
Oh,
off the ice and
gee.
never walked back on.
So anger management issues are a thing that are regular for you.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't an anger management issue. It was just I'm done. I'm going out with a blast. If I'm going out, I might as well have some fun.
Jesus Christ.
No, I was the guy that would hit. Okay, I was on the All-Star traveling team, right? For my hockey team. I was on the regular hockey team, regular season hockey. And then we had the postseason All-Star traveling team. And I was with that, and I checked this kid, perfectly legal. And I got down nice and low. He was on a breakaway. I caught up to him. Got down nice and low, perfectly legal check. Brought my shoulder up, right in the kidney, popped his kidney, blood bouncing on the ice. Beautiful, right? I mean, it was a wonderfully clean check, no penalty. Felt bad for the kid. He needed a kidney transplant, but wonderful. It was a beautiful check.
Oh, hockey.
I played hockey for years after that, but I was good at it. But hockey went from being this beautiful sport to being about politics and whose daddy had money.
Mm-hmm.
My parents didn't have money.
Didn't. Sure.
No, my dad was a welder and my mom was an RN. That's not money. So.
Well, but y'all were eating. I mean,
No,
RNs
yeah.
don't exactly make nothing.
No, but dad was laid off,
Oh, fair
if
enough.
it wasn't summer and dad wasn't making farm equipment, dad was laid off. So.
Gotcha.
But
That's rough.
that's it is what it is, right?
But
Granted, my
again, you
parents.
all were eating, so.
Yeah.
But
Granted.
but that doesn't put you with the creme de la creme of hockey players.
Yeah, but as things went on, my parents bettered themselves, and things got better as time went on. They improved themselves, but my parents, I wasn't. They never had. My family never had the respect and the money that the doctors and the lawyers did. So therefore, I was not considered good enough. No matter how good I was at hockey, I was never good enough.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
I was like,
age-old story. Classism at its finest.
I was done. And once again, that's something that my kids will understand. It does happen in this world, but there's ways to find other ways to do things. If you hit one wall, look for a different path. And I did. I looked for a different path, and I made my dream come true. So,
at the end of the day, I think that it's interesting. There's two sort of groups of individuals. Those who sort of have a hand up, and those who are just that damn talented.
Yeah.
And find a way to make it happen.
I only had one dream in my entire life, and I made it happen, and I lived it, and
that's all that matters.
I don't regret it. I blew stuff up for a living, and I had fun doing it, and I made some amazing brothers doing it, and now I get to talk to you fine folk. So,
Ooh.
I've had some crazy motherfuckers in the path too.
Haven't we all?
Oh yeah.
Oh, since we're talking about people that don't understand kids and all that crazy shit, right? There's this individual that I know. I'm not going to use names. I'm not even going to say how I know this guy, okay? This poor bastard went out to a bar, and you're going to agree with me here. This guy got railroaded. Went out to a bar and met a girl. Inside a bar, she had an alcoholic drink. What are you going to assume automatically? She's in a bar and has an alcoholic drink.
21.
Thank you. Hooked up with her. Behind a Kmart. Granted, that's a naughty no-no.
Behind a Kmart?
Yeah, in a car behind a Kmart. That's a naughty no-no, I know. Granted, that's a naughty no-no. That's indecent and, that's wrong. But
okay, but it's behind a... Okay, whatever. That's fine. Continue.
Sir, it was the most romantic spot available, all right?
Okay, I've done it in the church.
Okay.
I've done it in a church. I've done it in a church parking lot. I've done it in a confessional. I've done it.
You know what? Seriously though, like there's some grace about doing it where Jesus is. There's zero grace about doing it behind a fucking Kmart. Like, what the fuck?
You like special.
Like, was Martha Stewart there? What the actual hell?
I don't know.
I would hope so.
Maybe it was just a moment of passion. Maybe it was across from the bar. I don't know the details. Well, the cops busted him, right? And he was gonna let them go easy, let him off easy. She's a fucking minor.
Oof.
Of course she is. Some asshole let her in, and someone bought her a drink. She probably had the big ugly exes, but he was too fucking wasted to notice.
And he ended up on the registry. And that started his life in a spiral. Now he's doing a dime upriver.
Oh, dude. That's rough.
He could never get out of that. Because once you're pegged, you're in deep shit.
I mean, they have apps for that shit now. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. It's horrible. This guy got railroaded. And it happened in a state that's bad.
That will nail you to the wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So along those lines, when I was at my advanced training,
Are we talking sham training?
Remember, this is not sham training. I was the wrecker operator.
Okay.
My understanding is that there were some guys that decided it would be a really good idea to go to a bar. Now, we were like pretty far from any other state, so they had to travel pretty far to go across state lines with some females who were minors. And I believe they were still under investigation whenever I left there. I'm like, that sucks.
That's kidnapping once you cross state lines.
Exactly.
They got
It's a
Omega
freaking
fucked.
miracle. That's yeah. I don't even know. Like, and the military does not dick around with that kind of shit. You're not in regular court. You're in the we're gonna fuck you forever court, where you could possibly end up eating bread and drinking water. Like,
you turn big rocks into little rocks into powder. Powder is concrete to make big rocks to turn it into little rocks.
Then you turn that into bread, and then you eat it with water.
And then you eat it and excrete it and start process over.
Yeah.
You eat it, excrete it, and then you eat it. And the process starts all over.
All without a collar, because you're not authorized to have a collar. Because that'd be a violation of 670-1.
Oof.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here's the thing. Like, I'm a freaking jarhead, so I need you to tell me about this 670-1 because people keep bringing that shit up, and I don't know what the fuck it is.
What is... Okay, every branch has one. Okay, Nipples, what is the Navy's code for... What is the... In your regulations, what is the regulation covering dress and standard uniform?
Fuck.
See, you should know this for the board.
Yeah, I probably should know this for the board. I can't really remember off the top of my head.
Shame. You're still active. That's why I asked you.
I'm sure that people are losing their shit right now. They're like, oh man, these motherfuckers, they don't know what the regulation codes are. You know what? Suck a dick.
Uniform.
You know what? It's better than the naval general that showed up to the fucking State of the Union speech with his ribbons upside down. How's that for you?
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was interesting.
So, I was, you know how like every once, well, actually, if you're Army, you of course know how frequently uniform changes get made in terms of what is considered acceptable and what isn't.
You don't say.
Y'all have had like 6 different uniforms in the past decade alone. But
try the last 3 years.
It's something about green and pink, or I don't know, some shit.
Yeah,
but anyway,
green and pink, they're bringing them back from World War II. Yeah.
I like, okay, cool, good job, guys. But
apparently
let's spend money on that. That sounds important.
Well, there's actually a reason for it. The most counterfeited uniform is the U.S. Army's. That is the most counterfeited. That's the most counterfeited uniform. And
because that shit's generic as fuck.
Yeah. Well, the pinks and greens are hard as fuck to counterfeit. The Nazis.
Okay, you know what? That's a legitimate reason. I get it, but that doesn't explain the 15 different camouflage patterns that y'all have had.
Because they're trying to find something that works better and something that wears better, and they keep.
Oh, you mean the shit that looks like mint chocolate chip ice cream isn't working for people?
Go figure.
They need to just leave it the same.
If they listen to the goddamn troops instead of these fucking politicians that are making the damn decisions, things would work better.
They need to just leave it the same until they discover active camouflaging and just run around invisibly.
When we were downrange, right, back in when shit started in 03, they asked us what we wanted in the DCUs. And they came up with a new line of DCUs with extra pockets added to it. And they added some Velcro to it, they added extra shit to it, and they started releasing that to the new guys. And
Velcro is the worst idea ever. Just throwing it out there.
In 03, it's the a few extra. It wasn't what we needed for patches. We needed a few spots of Velcro that put, to be able to. It wasn't that we needed it on a uniform. We needed a spot of Velcro for, say, hanging on to some bandages for the medics while they were trying to patch up a guy in the field. And it was a wonderful thing.
Enough.
The medics were sewing Velcro onto their shit, trying to patch so they could patch up guys easier out there. And they listened to us, and they went with it. And then some freaking politician went, let's put all the badges on Velcro.
Well, like, I don't know. Here's the thing. I liked the woodland camo pattern, and I know that dates me, and I don't give a shit. there was nothing wrong with it. It worked.
Chocolate chip is my favorite.
Like, fair enough. And I like the woodland camo. I didn't hate the tricolored desert. Admittedly, the ones that they issued us were ancient as fuck, and the crotch ripped out of them. But whatever. They're just making sure you could pee easier. I don't know, but there was nothing wrong with it. It was like the entire military lost its goddamn mind all at the same time. They're like, let's make digital camouflage, and let's make them perma-press so that people don't have to iron them. Why?
And let's make sure you can wash them yourself, because if you do, then they show up in IR.
Ugh, Jesus Christ.
So you have to take them somewhere
I don't understand who makes these decisions. I don't know who it is that has all this goddamn free time to sit around and be like, what kind of new camouflage are we going to be wearing today? But I think we have more important shit to worry about.
Elected officials have buddies in the industry, and what happens is their buddies go, well, we're not making enough money off these uniforms anymore. They've all been issued out. We're not making enough anymore. We need to make some more money. And they go, okay, what's your new idea? And they go, well, we've got this idea, this idea, this idea. And they go, okay, well, let's put out some each and see which ones we think work best. Okay, now we're gonna flat issue this one for a while, and you'll make some money. Oh, it didn't work. Let's issue another one. And that's what they do. I'm not even kidding.
Hey guys, we don't want the troops to spend their uniform allowance on booze anymore. Can we figure something else out to do?
No, we don't want the troops to be able to spend it on a pair of boots that they actually fucking need. Oh, but wait, we're gonna change the boots again. What is wrong?
We're gonna make them ones that are fluffy, like teddy bears, and they'll be amazing.
What is wrong with polishing boots? Please tell me.
I liked polishing my boots. That was the one thing I actually enjoyed.
Thank you. That brings some goddamn discipline, doesn't it?
It really does, and I liked doing it. There was like a status level for walking out of the fucking barracks in the morning with shiny boots.
And there's something relaxing about sitting around watching some goddamn porn and polishing your boots.
Multitasking.
If you watch someone get fucked in the ass while you fucking polish boots, then why the hell are we here?
Right? No one said you can't. No one said you can't multitask that polish. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I need to imagine that spit's doing something important.
And spit, shit, you were doing it poor. I'm telling you, a little bit of rubbing alcohol, your kiwi, and a lighter.
I fire shine mine.
Yep.
You know, the only problem I had with that, like I liked how good it looked, but here's the problem that I had with it, is that when you got done with it, sometimes it damaged the leather, and I don't know,
a proper base layer.
Yes.
Well, fair enough, I guess.
You have to put down 3 thick layers of polish that you take a hairdryer or something and melt it into the leather to cure the leather.
I knew guys who used to use like Mop and Glow and shit.
Do you
remember that?
The best thing to use on the leather is dolphin cum. It actually makes the leather super healthy and keeps it nice and supple as well.
Is that what they call it when jarheads come on a fucking sailor's boots?
No, that cum usually gives our boots hepatitis.
Wait, no, don't they call that no homo?
I have no idea.
When a fucking jarhead comes on a sailor's boots, no homo.
No homo. Marines don't even have to say no homo. We all know they're homosexual. It's fine.
But you know they always do.
I
mean, they're ashamed to admit it.
I mean, they can lie to themselves. We all know.
Well, of course we do. And,
I think they're. I don't know. You know what? I have wise ass things to say that, but I'll just keep it to myself.
You know, we all bust on each other, and that's the best part about this brotherhood. That we can just sit here and bust on each other, and some civilian will come on and give us some wise ass shit, and we'll fucking turn you an asshole.
Well, here's the thing. Like, you could talk about Marines being gay all goddamn day. I don't give a shit because that does not hurt my feelings. Seriously, it really doesn't. Like, people get real butthurt about some stupid shit. That is not one of the things that upsets me. At the end of the day, though, y'all wish I was fucking gay because you would be buying my videos. And I would take your checks willingly.
Well, something tells me that some of those people, some of those groups even trade. You put out some videos, people will be buying that shit. I promise you. I hear that porno pays like $5,000 a video. Just saying.
You hear porno pays $5,000 a video?
Porno, the amateur videos, it's like $5,000 or $6,000 a video. Just putting it out there.
Huh. Okay. Fair enough. I'll keep that in mind in case I ever consider a career in porn.
Well, there you go. I'm sure that somebody over on Shabber from
I was gonna say, like, who wants to be the cameraman? I need an editor because we can't go putting that shit out raw.
That's what she said. Phrasing.
Oh, I have made the appointment for the big finale. I am getting fucking snipped.
Oh.
I'm done. I have enough.
Oh boy.
Kids.
You're getting snipped?
Getting snipped.
Congrats.
My oldest kid.
So do I have to call you she now?
No, I'm not my fuck.
He's the venomless cobra. Yep, that's your new nickname.
The venomless cobra.
Think about it. The one I disowned. He's 18. He's almost 19 now. And fucking my youngest is 18 months old. And I'm done, man. If I have any more, I'll be like 54 before they move out of the fucking house.
No, bro. That's the responsible thing to do. I'm proud of you.
And it's safer for me to get.
We don't want you to be one of those assholes at the movie theater with 16 kids.
And it's safer for me to do it than to ever think that my wife should do it. I'm not that asshole.
Well, my God, yeah. I mean, if she were, like, there's a lot of times, like, when women are having, like, cesareans or whatever, that they'll just go ahead and knock that shit out while they're already filleted open anyways. Yeah, but to give a woman a tubal ligation, like, that shit's, it's involved.
She had a C-section with my youngest, right? With our
okay.
But she's 8 years younger than me.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not making her.
So they weren't willing to do it, or?
No.
Okay.
I'm not willing to put her through the hell. I mean, you can understand the chemical, body reaction that goes on in a woman when that happens to her. I'm not gonna make her go through that shit.
Well, no, I mean, like, they still have their ovaries. It's not like they're taking parts out.
There's still changes, psychologically and physically, and it's
psychologically I could see, but like chemically speaking, she's still producing.
I know.
I mean, like women are born with all the eggs that they're ever gonna have.
I know. Well,
so it's not like they're not removing body parts. She's still going to produce hormones. But I hear what you're saying. Like, that was very selfless of you.
It's the psychological the biggest end of it, because for a woman, oh my God, I can never have another kid. It's finite. That's it.
I get that. I mean, if she had like a full-on like hysterectomy where they took everything out, that would cause chemical changes in her body. But I understand the psychological aspect that you're speaking about.
And I could never ask my wife to do that. I can't do that. That's not my place to even question to have her do that. But I don't understand anything about families or kids or because us at Daycare are just idiots and we don't understand families or kids.
Oh, of course, yes.
Well, the magic news is too they're going to give you the good drugs, so
yeah,
you're going to be higher than damn it.
Oh no, you want to know what they're going to give you? The good drugs. I got this hernia inside that's like the size of a fucking football. And they're going in some here soon, and they're going to cut me open and take that fucking thing out. That's going to be the good drugs. So just so you know, some of y'all are gonna have to fill in for a couple weeks while I can't do the show, and you all are gonna have to rotate with Jordan. Or Jordan's what the fuck is Jordan? Oh, Jordan's that guy that keeps fucking posting on the page. I don't even know what the fuck I'm babbling. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Somebody help me. Where am I lost?
Well, we were talking about vasectomies and removal of hernias or something.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I'm babbling.
You said you were going to go and have surgery and that we were going to have to find a replacement for you at that time.
Oh, yeah. We have a guest coming on here in the next few weeks. His name is Jordan something or another. He's a nuclear cleanup vet. I don't know if he'll be on for that one. And
oh yeah.
Hopefully I'll be here for that one. I want to be here. If I have to be stoned out of my mind and in pain to be on the show for that one, I'll be
When are we supposed to be having Andrew Pasatino?
Oh my God, yes.
2 weeks from now.
That I cannot wait for that dude.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Such an animal.
Is Navy. So.
Navy spouse. I freaking love that kid.
That dude's awesome.
27th is our nuke net. That is going to be. He's one of the last few. I don't know if people understand how bad these guys got fucked over, but even the VA's not helping these guys. We had another one lined up. We had another nuclear cleanup vet lined up, right? And he got given. We lined him up, and he was going to come on the show, and he got given 60 days. And well,
poor guy.
Come on the show. So,
yeah.
And you said the VA's not helping them?
In order for these guys to get help, the U.S. government has to acknowledge the fact that they did not provide them with the nuclear hazmat suits during the cleanup. Can you understand? You can imagine.
So they have to prove that they were not wearing the appropriate gear.
No. That's easy to prove. There's pictures of it on the islands. There's pictures of the housing. They lived in tents on little islands full of nuclear radiation. The problem is, the U.S. government has to admit publicly they did not take care of our troops. They're allowing them to die of nuclear radiation.
Oh my God.
Now, can you see our government that still has not acknowledged Agent Orange until 3 weeks ago publicly that they're doing this with nuclear radiation?
Nope. They'll admit it after they're all gone
God
here
forbid.
in like 5 years.
Don't admit shit and take care of people. Let's just fucking deny that crap till the end of time.
So
Good work, yo.
There's very few of these guys left. These guys did a service that none of us would ever want to do. And they weren't even properly warned what the fuck was going on. They weren't provided the right equipment. And their story is one that everyone needs to hear before it is gone and lost forever.
Well, here's the thing. Correct equipment or not, okay, let's just suspend disbelief here for just a moment. Correct? Let's just pretend they had the absolute correct shit at the time. That's not to say that crap is actually effective. All right? We've given you all of what we consider to be the appropriate gear at the time. But if you find out after the fact that shit wasn't viable, that it didn't do what it was supposed to be doing, and that these gentlemen are dying as a consequence, for fuck's sake, what's wrong with you?
Right. They were cleaning up nuclear radiation on these islands, right? And when they weren't cleaning up nuclear radiation on these islands, they were also playing volleyball on the same islands in the sand.
Oh boy. Nuclear volleyball.
I love veterans. That's some fucking random shit.
That's just wild.
I love them. They're like, you know what? We're doing the world's most awful job. Let's play volleyball. Sure, why not? Because it's either laugh or cry, and I choose laughter every time.
You know, T3 was out in the middle of the desert doing an awful fucking job. And they decided, there's landmines everywhere, and they decided, you know what? Fuck it, let's play some baseball.
Yeah, we'll just make this one. We'll make this landmine home plate.
It was kind of like, well, you know what? Fuck it.
Just don't slide in the home plate.
You know, it kind of got to that point. You know, it's like the general literally stood in front of us and said, "We don't have permission to die, and you ain't all going home, but you don't have permission to die."
Well, if you don't have permission, if you don't have orders to die, you might as well just go ahead and play with the landmines. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they can hurt you.
Yeah, well, you know that it's illegal, it's punishable in the army to die without permission.
That sounds something the army would do.
That's actually no. That's pretty much universal. That's not just an army thing.
Well, I know. I know for a fact that it's in the regulations in the army. I don't know about the other branches.
That's I don't even know what to say about that.
You guys about ready to wrap it up? It's been about an hour and 16 minutes here.
Oh, has it been an hour?
Yeah, it has. We went by pretty fast.
Where'd the time go?
That's a good question.
Oh, real quick, check on your buddies.
Oh yes.
We always know that our weirdo friends are sometimes the ones that are struggling the most.
Mm.
So reach out to them. You never know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, make sure you reach out to a buddy tonight or tomorrow and check how they're doing on this nice Easter day.
Especially on the holidays like this.
Oh yeah.
Know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Holidays are the worst.
Holidays, Fridays, Mondays.
Every days.
Well, I mean, absolutely, but at the holidays especially, people just feel.
Yeah. Holidays and about 3 days from payday.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Belen, one of our favorite guests. He props to him. He just was a keynote speaker at the National Cannabis Conference, which, you know, as you well know, we are big supporters of. I can't speak for anyone, but I am. Yeah. Anyhow.
Well, I'm libertarian as well, so yeah.
Yeah, he was a keynote, and they had mass success today. He's fighting for, you know, veterans' rights like crazy out there.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. Quentin, the guest that was supposed to come on tonight, he had family stuff going on, so we had to say, you know what, family comes first, and as always, that's the way it should be. So never puts anything ahead of your family. Your family and your kids always come first, you stupid motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if your friends ask you to go to a fucking bar. If your kid asks you to put on a goddamn dress and play tea party, put on that fucking dress and play tea party. Don't go to the bar. As far as, let's see, what other announcements do we have? Oh, we've got friends are they in West Virginia? Eric the Red, where are they at?
At which one?
Eric the Red.
Oh, that's Virginia. That's Virginia.
West Virginia. Eric the Red, he is one of our favorite little mascots of our friends group. He is doing very, very well. I want to give a shout out to him. I'm not going to use the family name, just his nickname. And he's doing well, and I want to say congrats to the little man. He's
yeah. He was a
beacon of hope in our life.
Yeah, he was a preemie. He came out a little bit rough, but he's super strong little dude. Been absolutely killing it.
This guy's story has been a beacon of hope.
Oh yeah.
For anybody that hears it, it's been amazing to watch him grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give him a shout out. His story someday will get told. His dad is a fellow serviceman, so I think, you know, it's
have him on eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever his family's ready.
Yeah.
They need their privacy for now, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We have one more new admin on the page, and we will have her on sometime this week, sometime in the coming weeks. She is working tonight and spending time with her kids, which is important because, like I said, and her name is Raven, and Nipples and I have known her for a long fucking time.
Yeah, she's great.
she's good people's. She will Raven will do just about anything to help a friend. So, and McFucker needs thoughts. He's going through some shit. So, if you could throw out some thoughts to McFucker, he's not. I'm not going to say pray or anything, but if you can throw some thoughts to McFucker, you could use them. You could use some good juju out there in the universe.
Yep.
Anything else anybody else wants to put out?
I'm good. I actually think it's just dropped from the call, so.
All right.
That works.
All right, well, hopefully we entertained you tonight, fuckers. You have a good one.
Have a good one.